Hello, hello. I want to talk about engagement rings and wear and tear. The things that happen the first few years that you wear an engagement ring, what to expect, what's reasonable, and what to look out for. So when you are picking out your engagement ring, one of the things I always ask my clients is, tell me about your lifestyle. How active are you? Are you hard on your jewelry? Are you lifting weights every day? Do you have 3 children and you're using your hands all of the time? And based on their answers, I give recommendations for the millimeter dimension of the band. Most women want a ring that has a thin pave diamond band and a nice, beautiful stone. It aesthetically makes the ring look bigger. It's feminine, it's delicate, it's beautiful, right? This is the most popular and most requested style. However, what happens is the thinner that your band is, or your shank, we call this the shank of the ring, the thinner it is, the more delicate it is, the more of a tendency it has to break or bend or for a stone to fall out. And so the more active you are, the thicker I like to make the millimeter on the ring. So 1.5 is a little bit too thin in my opinion to have structural integrity for 20, 30 years of wearing the ring. So I like to be at 1.7 generally, or like 1.7 to 1.9 in terms of thickness. Now, on the engagement rings that I create, I generally have 3/4 of the pave, and then the bottom is just metal, platinum or white gold. And I do this because, as you wear your ring, you're going to hit it on things, and so you don't want the stones to fall out. But do keep in mind, with whatever engagement ring that you have, especially if there's little small stones in it, that just like a car has wear and tear, you're driving it every day, you're wearing this ring, like this ring gets more wear and tear than anything else, right? You change your clothes every day, you're changing out your jewelry, but this is what you're wearing every day. And so every impact it has, if you grab a glass of wine and it dings, like anytime you hit your ring on anything, there's a potential for the prongs that it hits to loosen a little bit. And if there's enough hitting, the prong can loosen and a stone can fall out. This is why we always get our rings insured. The center stone is very structurally safe because it has, the 4 prongs around it, but it is more prominent. So it could be hit a little bit more than the stones on the side, depending on what you do. And if that happens, you should have your ring checked once or twice a year and make sure the prongs are tight. If you ever hear like a rattle, a light little rattle, that means a stone is loose. And so I just think there needs to be a reasonable expectation of our jewelry, that if a stone falls out and you've worn it for 8 months, but you're very hard on your jewelry, like that's not because the ring wasn't well made. That's because you're using your hands a lot, and you probably one hit can potentially loosen a stone. Anyone who purchases a ring from me, the first year, I will take care of any issue with the ring. If the center stone falls out, that's what insurance is for. That should really never happen. But if you hit the ring or something happens and a little stone falls out, I'm happy to take care of it. That's just part of the Miss Diamond Ring policy, but it's not lifetime because you're going to be wearing this wearing this and using this all the time. And so expect to have your ring serviced once a year, have the prongs checked, have all of the stones checked, and also as you're wearing your ring, depending on the metal and depending on the oils from your skin, the ring could change color, right? If you have an 18 karat white gold ring, I don't know if you know this, but 18 karat white gold is yellow gold with alloys added to it. And so as you wear it over time, it's going to revert back to its original state, which is yellow gold. That takes time. And so you might be thinking, well, I want platinum so it doesn't change color. However, platinum is not the best option for a very thin shank ring. In fact, the thinner the shank, the more that white gold is a better option. It has less of a tendency to have stones pop out or for the metal to bend. It's just a little bit different. And also the more detailed your setting is, white gold is generally a better metal, more malleable. So these are just things to keep in mind. If you have a platinum ring, platinum scratches a little bit more than white gold. So, right, so on the bottom of the ring, as you wear it, it's metal. And if you hit it, it's going to have marks. So just to have like a reasonable expectation of something you're wearing every day. We use our hands more than anything. We hit the cell phone, we're touching the cell phone, we're picking up books, we're hitting our ring on the steering wheel when we're driving. All of these little hits on the ring are going to create wear and tear. And so be mindful. If you're very active, even though we don't think we're using our, I didn't hit my ring on anything. If you're active, which most of us are, and you have a more delicate ring, and the more stones that are in your ring, the more diamonds, the greater of likelihood that a stone will fall out. Again, if you hit it, stone's not going to fall out if you don't hit it, but as you're kind of going through life and using your hands, that is a possibility. So this is just a disclaimer. Hopefully it's helpful just to have a reasonable expectation of a piece of jewelry that you're wearing every day. All of my rings are hand forged. They're very well made. But if you're active, go for a slightly thicker setting. And I wouldn't put diamonds on the bottom if you can help it. You want metal there so you don't have to worry about hitting it. And it also allows you an opportunity to size the ring in the future if you have children and your finger expands, whatnot. Oh, one other thing that I think is important for you to know is finger sizing. So your finger size changes every week. You could be a size 5, and then next week you're a 5 1/4, or next week you're like a 4 3/4. And the things that the thing that will change your finger size is the weather and your diet. So if you live in a place that is cold, cold in the winter and super hot and muggy in the summer, your finger is going to expand and contract. It's going to swell and it's going to shrink. If you have a lot of salty chips and margaritas the night before, the next morning, your ring is going to be tight. You will be a good quarter size thicker. If you are pregnant, if you have a child, your finger will expand, and then after you have the baby, it will go back down. So I always like to err on the side of like being a quarter size, like have a little bit more room. Yes, we want the ring to be tight, but what you can do is add 2 little bumps, sizing beads to the inside of your ring that can be taken out whenever your finger kind of goes back down. So it's tight and snug, but you're able to get it over the knuckle, right? But if you size the metal too small and your finger expands, it's really hard you don't want to resize the ring too many times, because every time you're melting the metal and resizing the shank, you're compromising the integrity of the entire setting little by little. And so you just want to ideally size a ring once, twice maximum. So always err on the side of just like a quarter size bigger. And also it's important to know that with your ring finger size, the thinner the ring, the smaller the size. So this is a 4 1/2. This ring is a 4 1/2. I'm a size 4 1/2. However, if it were a thicker ring, it would be, my size would be like a 4 3/4 or a 5. So if it's a thicker band, it's going to be more snug, and you want to go up like a 1/4 to a 1/2 size. So the thinner the ring, you tend to have a little bit more room. It's looser. It's less metal hugging the skin. So all these things to keep in mind. These are all items and criteria that I go over with all of my clients. I ask about their lifestyle. I ask about where they live, where they travel, all of these things, so we can determine the right fit. But always here to help whenever there's an issue or an issue arises. And all of you who have a ring from me, I hope you're enjoying it. And anyone considering a ring, I look forward to helping you create the most beautiful engagement ring possible. All right, hope that's helpful, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.